Hi, welcome to the multi-inventory demo. This is going to be showing Magento 2 with our rental system and multi-source inventory is what they call it. So we're going to go through the configuration first, then we're going to go through placing an order on the front end, on the back end, and showing the inventory reports and how to ship orders. So it'll be a pretty thorough walkthrough. So right now I'm in the back end under stores, all stores, just to show you how we have our demo set up. And you can access our demo on our website. So we have two different websites set up, California and New York. So that would be one option for setup. Each inventory source that you have could have its own separate website if you wanted to. Of course, you don't have to do it that way. They can all share the same website. And then when you ship the orders, you can choose the inventory source. But I wanted to show you that first. Next, we're going to go to the sources. Now, the sources are basically the warehouses that you have. So any place that you want to track a separate source. So you can see we have that set up the same way as our websites, at least on our demo. And we have a California source and a New York source. You can add as many as you want. You could have 10 sources, 20 sources. You can only have 2. So it's however you want to configure it. Now, after that, you would want to set up your stocks. So we'll go to Configuration, Inventory, Stock. And let's explain what a stock is. So stock is fairly simple. It's just a way of combining multiple sources to one stock. So you might have 3 warehouses that you actually want to pull from at the same time, and it would combine those as far as your inventory reports go to. So say all your West Coast warehouses you wanted to have as one stock, and all your East Coast warehouses as another stock. You could do that. Now in our demo, we only have one source per stock. We just have a California one and a New York one. And also notice that each one is tied to a sales channel. So if you wanted to have, for example, 3 sources as one stock for one website, and maybe you just wanted to have one warehouse for another stock for one of your other websites, you could set that. So the main thing to remember is that it's quite configurable. It's very flexible and powerful. Now, next, one option I wanted to run by on this demo, since maybe you're using this demo to set up your own store, is something you might want to enable, and that's under Configuration, Customers, and Customer Configuration, and that's called Account Sharing Options. So we have it set to global. That means that a customer can have the same email address on any website that you have. If you just want to do it per website, that would mean they would need to have a different email address for another website. So it's not shared globally. You could do that too, but we usually keep that set to global. So next, let's go ahead and see how you might edit the stock for a product. So I'm going to go to our products, and we already have all the inventory entered for our demo, but let's just try editing one. All right, so we're not going to go through all the rental configuration options. Those are covered in our general video. But what we want to check out here is specifically the inventory, how that's different. So under Advanced Inventory button, you want to set that to Manage Stock, yes. Under Assign Sources, that's where you pick your different stock sources. I've already done that, so it's not going to show any additional sources. But I have set that to California and New York for sources. And then for the quantity, how many you have, you would set that for each individual source. So it's pretty straightforward, works well. You also, if you do have multiple websites, you can configure that product to be in your different websites. All right, so next on our list, we want to place an order from the front end for 2 different websites, so you can see how that looks in the inventory reports and the back end. So you also have the option of making orders in the back end for different inventory sources as far as your websites go. So I'm just going to speed through that and place an order for each different website, but for the same product. Okay, so I placed an order from the New York website. Now I'm going to place it for the California one. Now we'll go ahead and look at the back end, the sales orders, to check out the orders. All right, so you see the purchase point. One's for New York, one's for California. Just as I placed them, you can see the start and end dates. So that's just a basic showing of how you can have your sources. Now let's look at the rental report and see how that's reflected. And after that, we'll take a look at shipping the order from each location. So here on the inventory report, it's going to show inventory by source. So we're going to go ahead and change it to each source. So we placed it for the BMW, but so as we look at the inventory report, I actually placed the orders for different dates. So you'll see some overlap, some that don't. Now let's click on one where both dates were overlapping, and it will show the inventory report for both locations. So you see the total quantity, the quantity reserved, what's available, and the two orders that were placed on that same date. So that's how you could look at it in one way. Another way is you can go by source and break it down. So there's California, and then you all right, so that's the inventory report. And as well as source, you can also do it by stock, as we were showing before. But since I have those set to the same, it's not going to be much different. So after looking at the inventory report, we'll go ahead and ship an order or check it out. Either way, you can think of it the same thing. So there's one item to ship on this order. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. So submit the shipment. Right, that's done. And then when the order comes back or the rental comes back, you can return it, doing much the same thing. Also to note is that if you have two sources available for one sales channel, then it will allow you to select that when you're checking out or checking in the order if you want to change it, the default setting. So thanks so much for watching this screencast. Please check out our YouTube channel or website for other videos that you might be interested in.